Hello, friends. Welcome back to another podcast episode. It's Becky here, and I am so excited for you guys because today you are tuning in to an incredible recording from our Kingdom Minded Mompreneur membership. So you're getting a little peek behind the scenes. So we recently did a training for our clients inside our membership community, and it was so good, you guys. It's all about your niche and how to find it. Why do you need one? What does it look like? And even it's kind of a little bit like a workshop. Like we even give you a formula and give you some action steps so that you can implement right away. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Be sure to pass it along to your business bestie if it benefits you, as well as give us a 5-star review so that we can get this out to more people and change more lives. Welcome to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we, Becky
and Monique, your new biz besties, both busy moms just like you.
We're here to talk all things network marketing, mom life, and how to truly live out your calling. We'll be dropping 2 episodes each week to help you, the busy mompreneur, know the exact strategies to build both your business and your home. You'll hear each week from one of the top network marketers on their best tips for what's led to their success and what's working now.
We know that you're here because you are called to something more. You have a desire to succeed in both your business and at home, and we are going to teach you how. If you love what you hear here on the podcast and want to be one of our success stories, join us inside our community, the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we provide a daily social media action plan, additional resources, kingdom coaching, and more. Click the show notes for the link to join. So let's get into the episode. Hey everyone, I know y'all are muted, but welcome. We are so excited to gift you with this training. So one of the things when Becky and I had put together our Kingdom Minded Mompreneur membership, one of the things that we said was we want you guys to feel like we over deliver every single month. We want you to feel like you have all of the resources to support your business. You have everything you need to be successful. You have everything you need for social media, for all the things. And so we wanted this to be a gift for you because a lot of you have expressed that you want to grow in your niche in your social media and who you are speaking to. And so we have some really great content where we are going to help you do just that. And this is also something to pass along to your team. So a lot of what we teach today, if you're like, wow, this was really impactful, share the replay with your team. Pass this along to your team because we want this to be a blessing to them as well.
Yes. Okay. I am so excited to have this conversation with you guys because I think now more than ever, you all need to make niching down a priority. And I think sometimes this can be a little scary because we don't want to like leave people out, right? Or you might be thinking, but my products or my business or whatever can be for everyone. And while that is probably true in theory, if we're being honest, right, in reality, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to put in, the effort to build a business. Not everyone is going to actually be consistent with, the product regimen. Not everyone is going to want to host a party or whatever. And so I think this topic today is really important and I'm so excited. I think it's going to be really valuable. And so we're going to just jump in. Okay. I want to be respectful of your time. So nail your niche with Becky and Monique. Okay. So I'm going to share some phrases first to just kind of kick off the training. And I want you to put in the chat or in the comments, if you're watching it on Facebook, if I want you to put a 1 if you have ever heard these phrases. Okay. First one is niches to riches. So put a 1 in the comments if you're like, yep, I've heard that before. That is familiar. All right. What about you've got to be known for something, not everything, or you'll be known for nothing. What about that? Have you guys heard that before? Put a 1. What about if you try to talk to everyone, you'll end up talking to no one. Put a 1 if you've heard that before. And then finally, what gets repeated gets remembered, and what gets remembered gets repeated. So put a 1 if that is familiar. Okay, so listening to all of these things, right? Niches to riches, wanting to be known for something. If you try to talk to everyone, you'll probably talk to no one, right? And thinking about what gets repeated gets remembered. And so all of this entire concept is just a good reminder that if you are niching down, okay, you are getting really intentional about the content that you're putting out, people will remember you. You will be the resource, the source. You will be the one that they want to come to when they have this certain problem arise, or if they think about starting a side hustle or whatever, right? And that's what we want. We want to be known as the go-to in our field. So I have this picture of a hospital because I want you to think just real quickly before we dive into the content about if you've ever like gone to the hospital for like a surgery or the ER visit. I know Sarah one time busted her chin, right? And you like had to go to the hospital or whatever. And I remember one time I got this bill in the mail that was incorrect. Like it was very obvious they had not submitted it through our insurance, even though I had given them my insurance or whatever. So I had to call the hospital. And as soon as I got on the phone, you start listening to this like robotic, like automated person be like, click, blah, 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 to speak to this person, to this department, to this, to that, to that. So it's like, I'm just constantly like 0, 0, 0. I'm like, I just want to talk to a real person, right? Like I want to know that the person on the other end is going to have empathy for me. They're going to understand the problem that I have. They're going to help me solve the problem. I want to know it's like a real person. Okay. And in the same way that you're creating content, if you are only sharing like your company graphics, I mean, I'm not hating on the corporate side of the business, right? Like we're grateful for that, those resources they provide, right? And I think in a lot of ways that's necessary when people are starting their business, right? They really need something to put out, right? They need the logo of the company. They need the product pictures. Maybe they don't have all the products, right? Like that kind of stuff is necessary and we're very grateful. But there really comes a point in our business when, if we want to stand apart and like separate ourselves from all the other sea of consultants or opportunities or businesses or companies, we have got to show our personality, right? We've got to show how the business or the products have transformed our life, right? And not just this like robotic graphic of what the company is offering. And so that is why we created, right, our membership, the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. We wanted to help you create content that you could easily adjust to fit your business, your personality, your brand, right? And then today we wanted to give you guys this gift of, a little Christmas bonus, right? And how you can really take that content and turn it into, able to kind of niche down and speak really specifically to the person that is going to hopefully eventually convert, right? Like that's why this concept is, really important. So we're going to jump right in. I'm super excited about it, and make sure you have your pen and paper handy. And if not, it is recorded. You can come back and watch the replay. And we'll make sure that if someone invited you to this and you're not in our membership just yet, we'll make sure and include a YouTube link at the end of the training so that if you want to pass this along to your team members, like this is for you to share. Okay. We wanted to offer this for our members, but also for them to give some support to their teams as well. So let's jump in.
Yes. Okay. So excited. So for some of you, you might be like, okay, I know exactly what my niche is, but I kind of just wanted to hear if there's anything I need to tweak. And then there's others of you who are on this call today. You're like, what is a niche? Is it niche? Is it niche? Is it like, what does that mean? So if that is you and you're like, I don't even know what this means, let's define what that is. Because when you are in business, you're going to have the ideal customer. And then within that, you want to get really specific on how are you serving this person? How are you solving a problem for this person? How are you consistently offering value to this person? So think about who that person is and how you are solving a problem for them. This is essential in network marketing because what happens is people pay to have a problem solved. If you're taking notes, write that down. People pay to have a problem solved. And when you have a generic problem that you solve, here's what they're thinking. Okay, this is like sales psychology. They're thinking they might be able to help me. Like maybe they could help me, possibly. But when you get really, really specific, here's what happens is that person starts thinking, okay, they're in my brain. They know exactly what I'm thinking. I want to go to this person. Okay, I'll just give you a real life example right now for me. Is one of my children struggles with dyslexia and learning is very hard for him. And so recently we're making some changes with his education. And I thought I have got to find a tutor who I can get to come work with him. And so as I'm looking around to try to find somebody to work with him, like I could probably Google like reading tutor, writing tutor, language arts tutor, math tutor, whatever. But if I look for somebody who specializes in dyslexia and I can talk to this person and say, hey, this is his struggle. And they're like, oh, yes, we have this exact program specifically to work with kids who, oh my goodness. Okay, girl, send me a message. All right, is it Vianne? I don't want to mispronounce your name. Girl, send me a message. I'm being serious. Okay, Vianne said she's a tutor for kids with dyslexia. So girl, hit me up on Facebook and we will chat. Okay, so seriously, I think about if I'm trying to look at, maybe I talked to 4 other people who were regular tutors, and then I talked to this one person who has niched down and said, this is my specialty. I know exactly how to solve this problem. I am going to invest money with that person because they are solving a problem. Okay, so do you understand how with your business. And sometimes you have to get creative. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. Like I'll give you another example. Is there somebody who is in Plexus? She's very successful in Plexus. And her whole niche was helping people live a minimalistic lifestyle. Okay, now that has nothing to do with wellness, with, health, any of that. But she shows up and she serves this specific audience. And then she offers value, value, value. She gets them on her email list and then she shares about her business. And so sometimes your niche may not even necessarily feel like it fits in with your company. Okay, let's say you're in like Pampered Chef. Maybe you have mastered meal prepping and you do videos on how to meal prep, the best containers to buy when you meal prep, how to have all your meals prepped, 30 days ahead, and you offer value, 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 value. And somebody, they may not be thinking that they wanted to purchase something from you, but they get so much value from what you're offering them that then you could say, hey, we have this specific product that this will make your life so much easier in the kitchen. Okay, but you have niched down and become specialized in that area. Okay, so for our Nail Your Niche formula, we're going to give you 3 things that we're going to unpack today. So make sure that you write these down. So the first one is that you're going to create your avatar. The second one is you're going to clarify your niche. And then the third one is you're going to have consistency. Oh, I'm sorry. That's supposed to say consistently. That was my part. That was my bad. Consistently offer the solution in your content. So in your social media content, you're going to offer that solution over and over and over again. Okay. And over and over and over again. I was looking at someone's social media yesterday, and I won't say who it is because it's part of a little something secret we're doing that you'll find out on December 18th. But I was looking at, there was a top leader, and I was like, I'm going to go look at her social media. Her social media, she literally had the same thing over and over and over and over again. It was literally days of the same message over and over and over again. And I thought to myself, this is why she is successful. Some of you that are like, oh, I posted that last week. I don't want to tell my story again. I just shared it last Tuesday. I don't want to talk about the solution I offer. I just talked about that yesterday. Share it over and over and over again. And when you can consistently offer that solution, people start seeing you as that expert. Okay, so let's break this down. So the very first thing that you are going to do is create your avatar. And what your avatar is it's essentially who you are speaking to. Like if you could, and you don't have to close your eyes, but if you could like close your eyes and visualize who the person is that you're speaking to, like think about what does this person look like? Okay, so some questions that you could ask yourself is how would you describe your ideal customer? So if you think about someone that maybe is consistently purchasing from you, if you're in a business that has a subscription model, maybe they've been a subscriber for several years, they love the product, they're like a big fan. How would you describe this person? Is it a female? Is she a young mom? Is she a retired person? Is she, an empty nester? Like, how would you describe? How old is she? What color hair does she have? Is she married? Does she have kids? What does her typical day look like? What does she wear most days? What is she fearful of? What keeps her up at night? This is a great one to ask yourself. What keeps this person up at night? Meaning, like, what are the things she's concerned about? What is she worried about? If she could not fail, what would she want to accomplish in life? Is she self-sabotaging? Is there something that she really wants, but it's holding her back? How can you make her life easier? And then we want you to actually give this person a name. So if you're on your phone, take a screenshot of this. If you're watching on the computer, you can take your phone and take a picture, but I know these are a lot of questions. So take a photo of this so you can go back, and we actually want you to go through this exercise and answer these questions and name your avatar. Okay? So name your avatar. And what happens is when you create content, I want you to think about this. When you go to post something, okay, let's say you type up your post and you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit the post button. Before you hit that post button, I want you to think about, I'm gonna say Bree, because Bree was me and Becky had our avatar. Her name was Bree. She was a stay-at-home mom. She worked her network marketing business. She had 2 kids. We could tell you exactly where she lived. She lived in Minnesota. She was a Christian. Okay, that was our avatar. Her name is Bree. And so every time you think of your content, okay, before you hit that post button, reread what you wrote and ask yourself, how does this resonate with Bree or whoever your person is? And if you reread that and you're like, oh, well, she doesn't really quite struggle with this, or this isn't really what she would resonate with, how can you change that post to speak to her? And here's what oftentimes will happen. It's oftentimes, and not always, but oftentimes, your avatar is a past version of you. Your avatar, a lot of times, is the you who was trying to decide if network marketing was right for you. It was the you that maybe was struggling with limited belief, struggling with confidence, struggling with, do I have what it takes? Struggling with belief. And so that's why you have to ask yourself some of these questions like, what keeps her up at night? Well, what kept you up at night? What were you struggling with? Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is to clarify your niche. So ask yourself, who are you speaking to? That's going to be your avatar. What is this person's pain point? What is she frustrated about? Is she frustrated because she really wants to buy her kids something for Christmas and her husband's like, hey, we've maxed out our budget for the month or for the week. She really wants to go get her nails done and her husband's like, I don't know, I keep using that example, but hey, we don't have the extra money. She really wants to do something outside of motherhood, but she feels her identity is being a stay-at-home mom. Or she really wants to retire and know when she retires that she has the peace of mind of knowing income is not going to be something that is a concern. So what's keeping her up at night? What is her pain point? Okay, think about that. Think about what kept you up at night. And then how can you solve that problem for her? Remember I said people will pay to have a problem solved. So how can you have a solution where she will pay to have that problem solved? Because if you show up every single day and you're offering the solution, then she is willing to pay. And I keep saying she, but it could be he, okay? Whoever, they are willing to pay to have that problem solved. Okay, and then the third one is to consistently post speaking to your avatar and your niche. And so you have to show up over and over and over and over again. Those of you who have been in our multiply program, we say the same thing with your vision statement, like the vision that you have. You have to know your vision, but you also have to know the problem that you're solving. And you have to say it over and over and over again. And when you're like, I said it yesterday, say it again today. And when you're like, do I have to say it again tomorrow? You say it again tomorrow. And you show up over and over and over again. And so I'm going to give you an example. And this is another one, if you want to take a screenshot of this, is I want to give you an example of how you can kind of plug this in. So an easy post could be, I remember when I thought blank. Okay, so what kept you up at night? And when I decided to say yes to blank, okay, whatever product, service, etc., it finally gave me blank. Okay, so I'm going to give you my real life example. When I stepped into network marketing, it was after we had adopted our 3 boys. We went from 0 to 3 kids. I was looking for a way to be able to make income from home. But also, I stepped into a health and wellness company. And after we had adopted, I had kind of not given up, but I had, because our routine had changed, I was used to like getting up every morning, going to the gym at 5 a.m., eating super healthy. And now I was like going through the drive-through for the first time in, 15 years, or, skipping my workouts, or all these different things. And so I was looking for, I'm like, man, I really need to have like some kind of routine to get back to my healthy lifestyle. And so the company that I joined, they had at home workouts. And so, okay, I could plug into here thinking, I remember when I thought, man, I really need to get back to eating healthy and exercising. And when I decided to try work from home, I keep saying work from home workouts, when I decided to try home workouts, it finally gave me a way to get my workouts in. I had a nutrition plan to follow, and it simplified life for me. Okay, so that could be an example of how you could talk about the products. Or I could use this exact same example for the business opportunity. Okay, I remember when I was sitting at my desk working for the insurance office, and I thought, I have got to find a way to make income from home and to be able to be home with my family. And so when I said yes to network marketing, it gave me that solution. It gave me an opportunity to be home with my family. It gave me an opportunity to be the one to take my kids to school, be the one to pick them up, be the one to prioritize home life. So all of you can plug and play. Take this formula, put in either the product and how it solved a problem for you, the business opportunity and how it solved a problem for you. You do not have to have replaced your job to have value to offer to someone else. It could be, I just wanted to get an extra whatever at the grocery store. And because of my business, we have the margin to be able to do that. I wanted to put my kids in dance lessons. And because of my business, we have the space to do that. So being clear on what is it that kept you up at night? What is that solution? And then talk about that problem that you solve. Okay. So just to recap the 3 things that we talked about: creating your avatar, clarifying your niche, and then consistently offering the solution in your social media content.
Okay. So if you are listening to this and you are struggling to consistently create content that's actually going to convert, right? Because you're like, okay, that sounds amazing. I have this formula. Thank you, Monique. Like, maybe you even take the time to like write out, who it is that, you're talking to, their problem, what they look like, their name. You do all of this stuff, right? But what we have seen over and over after coaching thousands of people at this point, specifically women and mothers, I would even say, not everyone, but a lot of women, it's hard to juggle all the things, right? It's hard to, take care of your household, volunteer at church. Maybe you're working full time. This is a side hustle, or maybe you're staying home and homeschooling and you have like 17 kids and you feel like at least that's what it feels like, right? And you're like, I see this vision, I see the opportunity of, and I'm watching, maybe you're observing like people who are like uber successful and you're thinking, that's great. That's great that they can show up consistently every single day. But I just don't have that kind of time, right? To creatively write out the captions every single day. And I get it. Like if you have ever created content, even just for a week, you have come up with your own content for 1 week straight, and you are writing out the captions, you're coming up with, or even created a virtual party template, right? It takes a lot of like time, energy, resources. It takes a lot, right? And so Monique and I recognize that, the desire for so many, I would just say, women specifically, is that they, want to have, and right? They want to be able to show up for their family, however that looks, right? And have success in this space. And it's really hard, right? Because in a lot of ways, balance doesn't exist. It's just kind of this ever, mythical creature that we're all like, where is it? How do I find it? Like, is it really out there? And so many of the people obviously listening to this and we're live streaming into our community are already our clients. But that I just wanted to share for those of you that are listening, or watching this video. We wanted to still offer to you, if you are that person, if you're like, I love this, I need more support like this, we have launched a membership. Well, I shouldn't say it's like officially launched because we're still in the pre-launch stage, because we're learning and growing as business owners, and we're going to have a big launch in February. But we did want to offer to those of you who, if your leader or friend or business bestie or someone invited you to this, to this workshop today, we wanted to open the doors for you. So we have announced to our clients that we opened 200 spots. And so we do have some left. And so we wanted to offer that to you today. If this is something that you're interested in, if you're really like, man, I could really use a daily social media action plan, I could use some mentorship, I could use community. We have launched a membership. It's called the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. And so this is really just for someone who is like, just tell me what to do, right? Like, tell me how to show up. Give me the resources, give me the community, and I'm ready to get to work, right? And so we have created a formula of how you can basically work your business in less than an hour a day. We give you the tools, really only about 30 minutes, I would say, to 45 minutes. So it has a daily social media action plan. There's a monthly Q&A inside our community with Monique and myself. We have weekly kingdom coaching. And so sometimes this will look like, a Bible study. Sometimes it'll look like, a specific program. Right now, our clients are getting access to Shay Greenwood. She is an expert in the industry, had a lot of success, as well as a mom of 5, has adult children that are just phenomenal human beings. And so we're just able to learn from her. We have a daily IPA checklist, some goal setting for you, an exclusive Facebook community, which I think is really empowering to the members, as well as a community off of Facebook, which some of you guys might not have even accessed that just yet. That's on Kajabi, Canva templates, and just like so much more. And so for those of you that are like, oh, this is really intriguing, like I'm really interested in this, it's only $47 a month, you guys. And this is what people have said. Like, this is just a smidgen, like tiny little peek of what people have shared with us. It's so amazing. I love that you guys have so much on their daily. A checklist makes it so easy. This person said 2 posts. I've made 2 posts from the action plan, and I got someone I had been working on to join the business. She said she had ghosted me. She had kind of let go of it, and then boom, she got the email that the girl had signed up. One person said she posted a prompt from yesterday and has had a ton of engagement. This content is mind-blowing emoji. That's fun. So good. Thank you. This is an answered prayer. She said, I've used the Canva pictures because we do provide Canva templates for a post today. And wow, I'm blown away by the activity. Pinch me. The poster's sending people overboard. Current host. I've asked multiple times. So anyway, she said she signed up. So really exciting for us as well, as coaches, to see people taking action, getting results, and all for a small price of $47 a month. So I thought I would show you guys just a little peek behind the scenes. This was from the November. There's already the December one is up, and I am currently working on the January one, and I'm really excited about it as it is a new year. Lots of goodness to come. And so I just want you to imagine how it would feel like knowing exactly what to post every single day, right? Like what an incredible resource. And I always tell people, because I've had a lot of success in this industry. And many times when people go on to become coaches or, write a book, a lot of times it's from this place of I am providing something that I wish that I had, right? And so Monique and I came together and we really brainstormed, what is it that people really need, and how can we provide it in a way that it doesn't cost a lot of money, it provides this insane amount of, resource, but also you're going to have an action plan that makes you want to act, right? It's just this easy, simple process that you show up every day, you're going to get results. So super excited about it. We just wanted to invite you to join. I'll post the link in the chat. And just as a reminder, it's only $47. And if you have any questions, we do have some FAQs. Monique, do you want to go over the FAQs while I share the link? If anyone on here, and those of you that are, our clients, you're welcome to share it with your team as well.
Yes. Okay. So the first question is, if I sign up, am I locked in for a certain amount of time? So this is different than we have another coaching program. This is not that. This is a membership that you can join. And if for whatever reason it's not for you, you can cancel at any time. I'm going to read this comment. Brittany says, honestly, the action plan has been my crutch. Life has been a fire hose the last 2 months, and the plan has helped me stay present on social media without a huge time commitment. I love that. I love that. That's so good. And let me just tell y'all this. It is so fun for us to see you guys posting it. Like me and Becky are your cheerleaders. We're like, did you see what Nicole posted? Did you see what, whoever posted? And when we see that, it's like, we're loving that you guys are having these wins. We just feel like proud parents. Like we love that you're having these wins. Okay. So the next question, what if I sign up and realize it's not for me? So you can cancel at any time. Because it is a digital product, we cannot do any kind of refund. So you can't like purchase the December one and then say it's, I didn't like it. Can I get a refund? Because it's a digital product, we don't have the ability to refund that month, but you can cancel moving forward. Can I share the information with my team? So anybody who gets access to the actual content would need to purchase the membership. So you cannot copy and paste, like every day, copy and paste it, say, hey, team, here's what you need to post today. They would all each individually need to purchase it themselves. And will the content be different each month? Yes. So we have a different theme for each month. And so you'll see that. And for those of you who are obviously our members, you can tell that for November and December, there's different themes. And then we're also aware of what days are holidays, what days are, what's going on in the world, like all of those kinds of things. And then what if I want a more hands-on approach to coaching? And so we do have a coaching program at this very moment. We are not taking current clients, but we will definitely keep you guys posted if that is something that you're interested in. So everything that is included, you're going to receive a daily social media action plan. So for those of you who are our members, you already know this, and we're so glad that you're hanging in here for just a second because you are receiving all these things, and we hope that you are getting a lot of value. But for those of you who are visiting, we just wanted to make sure we mention this. So a daily social media action plan, exactly what to post every day, a monthly Q&A. So you submit your coaching questions, and every month we get on and we answer those live. Okay, so that's the Q&A. Weekly Kingdom Coaching. This has been phenomenal because we asked Shay Greenwood to come in. And for those of you who are on it, if you're on it, drop a 1 in the comments, because if you're on it, you know what I'm talking about. It's been so good. And yes, this is American pricing. So if you're Canadian, this is American pricing. So, if you have not caught Shay, all of her calls are in the Facebook community, and you can go back and watch the replay. I would highly recommend that you go back and watch the replay, because you're just going to be like, there's not even words. She's been talking to us about how to be a mom, how to be a wife, how to raise kids, how to keep your priorities straight, your identity in Christ, like all of those things. It's been so good. So once a week, you get Kingdom Coaching, a daily IPA checklist and goal setting. So in your action plan, there's a place every single day for you to check off and IPAs are income producing activities. So the actions that are a highest priority to have those checked off. And then the goals that you have for your own business, our Facebook community, Canva templates, and the occasional bonuses like this that we provide. So all of that is just $47 a month. You are not locked into anything. And honestly, I feel like if you are a network marketer and you want to be consistent on social media, it will pay for itself. And you saw that with people's posts, like, hey, I posted this and somebody bought, or somebody signed up for my team or whatever. Like, it will pay for itself. I don't even feel like we need to like sell you on this. But we did want to mention it for those of you who are visiting for today. So thank you guys for being on. For our members, thank you for trusting us, being part of our community. We do not take that lightly. Our goal is always to serve you. Do we want to open it up for Becky? Do we have time for any questions?
Yeah, we'll do 5 minutes. So we have time for like 1 or 2 questions. If anyone, you want to either unmute or put it in the chat. Let me check.
If you're struggling with your niche and you're thinking like, maybe you have a specific thing that you're like, is this my niche? Is this who I should be speaking to? If you have any questions about that, just let us know.
I'm pulling up the Facebook real quick just to see.
Okay, there was one question. Let me pull it up about the avatar. Okay, let me answer that. So, let me find it here real quickly. Hold on. Okay, so one person was asking. Okay, Mindy says, so is this avatar an actual thing? She says, is that a dumb question? Okay, there's no dumb questions. So your avatar is basically, if you think about, I mean, whenever I think of Avatar, I think of like the movie or like, this blue, like, a digital like thing. Okay.
Right.
So if you think of Avatar as a person, if you think of a person that you could close your eyes and visualize what this person looks like, you're creating a person who is your ideal customer or team member.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you create content, you're going to filter your content through, does this content speak to this person?
Right. Yeah. So like I was listening to a podcast today and the person was saying they're like a high-end real estate like broker, right? And so like that person, the content that they're like putting out on social media is not going to be to the people who can barely afford to pay their mortgage. I mean, if we're being honest, right? They're like talking to very wealthy people, And so, or like if you're thinking about, I don't know, like someone who owns a meal prep, business. Like there's a place in town that I don't even know if I follow them on social media, but they have, they have like meal prep, whatever. And so if they were creating, I guess, content around, how they're saving me time, I might be more interested in like, maybe eventually buying from them, right? Because I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. It's going to save me time. I don't have to make it, whatever. Versus if they were, making like, I don't know, like some fancy smancy restaurant and like, oh, come book or whatever, right? Like I'm the person who's like, I want to save some time. I don't have time to come sit and order this food, right? So I think you just have to think about like who it is that's actually going to buy what you have and come from that perspective.
Yes, so good. Okay, we have 2 questions. Shelly is asking, I've really been struggling with my niche. I have 4 young kids, but I'm thinking my avatar is actually me when I joined my direct sales company, working very full-time corporate. Yes, we would say yes to that. Yeah. Working very full-time corporate job and desperately wanting to become a mom, but not seeing how I could join that life and still be an ambitious businesswoman. Okay, that's pretty clear to me, but how do I tie that into my Pampered Chef cooking posts / videos specifically? Okay, Shelly, I think you've answered your question because the person who you're speaking to is the Shelly who wanted to get out of the corporate world, who wanted to be able to be home with her kids, but she didn't know how. And so the thing that kept you up at night is that or let me just ask you, are you where you're able to unmute, or do you have little kids?
Yeah, sorry, I can unmute, but I can't be on video. So,
That's fine. Okay, so let me ask you this. What kept you up at night? If you're thinking of that past version of yourself.
yeah, I mean, it was just I worked so much. I mean, I was working like 80, 90-hour weeks, just climbing the corporate ladder. And beyond that, I saw other mothers, that had young kids who were also in corporate roles. And I just saw how like absolutely miserable that was trying to juggle that and be a mom to young kids. And so I was in a place where I was desperately wanting to become a mother and, was trying, but it just seemed so impossible. So that part about what I'm trying, I guess what I'm trying to say is selling my business has really never been a problem for me. Like I can sell that as far as selling my business and recruiting and on that side. But as far as making, cooking videos and selling my products, how do I tie that into that avatar and that niche?
Okay, so I'll let Becky might have a different answer than I would. Um, Honestly, I feel like keep focusing on the business.
Yeah.
Like if you're because okay, we've talked about this before, but if there's two ways that you make income in your business. One is by selling your products and one is by recruiting and the income that you bring in with your team. This is always, always, always going to give you more opportunity than this. Okay, when you just offer your products, you'll eventually be capped. You'll eventually run out of people, energy, time, I mean, just like daily. But then when you think about the ability to recruit and build a team, that is unlimited. And so my initial thought is don't try to sit over here creating videos that you don't want to create and focus on recruiting and build, build, build. And yes, you can talk about like, hey, here's some products that I love that, have helped me save time in the kitchen as a busy mom of four.
Yeah.
You can talk about those kinds of things, but I would just keep on focusing
Mhm.
on recruiting and make that your avatar is you said I worked so much, I was working 90 hours. I saw other moms who were exhausted, other corporate moms. You tell that story over and over and over again, and that is going to be who you speak to.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think um inward, like on there's kind of two sides to the business, right? Like the products and then the business opportunity. And I think to me, the business opportunity trumps anything. Like if you focus on recruiting, that would trump anything. And I get that there's like minimums and this and that. You can't work to minimums, blah, blah, blah. But what I would encourage people to do, like if I was starting out, it's like I would build enough of like product, um, I guess, sales or bookings that I can feed myself through a funnel created inside of that. So what I mean by that is like, for example, if it's like bookings, right? I fill up my calendar and then I make it my absolute goal to book from within those bookings, right? So then outwardly, I'm focusing on recruiting. If I'm doing, selling shakes or whatever, whatever, right? Like show the transformation, show that in the beginning, and sell in the beginning for a period of time, like kind of have seasons, I guess, in your business where like maybe you run out of bookings or you run whatever. But if you have a specific product that you're trying to sell, I don't know why it keeps echoing. I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, if you have a specific product that you're trying to sell, like use that focus of residual, like how can I max out that customer's experience, like continue to get them to buy from you, as well as referrals, as well as just leverage as much out, max out that person, right? Max out the customer experience, make it so good that they want to keep buying from you. And then outwardly, your marketing is all about the business. And yes, you're still going to plug, like you don't want to be like so secretive that people are like, what is she even selling? Like, do I even like that? So I think though, like Monique said, you can say like, hey, I'm on a mission to X, Y, and Z. And here's here's how I'm doing it. These products have been a game changer for me because I'm so focused on building my business while not missing out on any like magical moments with my family. And I'm able to throw stuff like this has been a winner chicken dinner. This has been like a game changer in the kitchen for me because I don't love to cook, but it's been really awesome to have this resource, to have this product, to have this whatever that has helped me, blah, blah, blah. And so I think that's my opinion. Shayna said, can your niche change on Facebook? Yes. I mean, 1,000%. You guys have, if for those of you that have been following me for a little while, like you've watched me do that. And I think it just goes to show like people can evolve and change and you have permission to do that. That's okay.
Okay. Brittany asked, I just am watching the time here, and then I saw Melissa unmute, so I have a feeling Melissa has a question. Okay, I'm going to answer Brittany's. Oh, no. Okay. Brittany's question. I have had something on my heart when it comes to my social media platforms and what I want to be known for beyond just health and wellness going into 2024. But where I'm getting stuck is whether or not to create a new Facebook business page, Instagram profile for that specific niche, which is soul care for the working mom, or just to change the name of my current personal pages. Thoughts? Okay, 100% do not create a new
business
profile.
page. But
take your current page and rename it, pivot, because your people are following you for you. And Brittany, you do such a good job. Like you're so consistent online. You're so encouraging. You're so uplifting that part of your branding, people recognize you as that. Brittany's the encourager. She's always encouraging other women. She's always, sharing positive things. And so I think the same people that are following you for that, it doesn't matter now, if you were like, hey, I want to go do this totally different, whatever, I want to start a roofing company. I don't know. Then we'd have a different conversation. But something like this, where it's still you and you're providing soul care for the working mom. I'm like, oh, 100% that falls under wellness. So are you working or are you able to talk? She might be at work. Okay. All right. So the short answer is I would not recreate a new page.
it's just an extension of who you are. I mean, like, yeah. Because our identity is not necessarily just this one thing. And I know there's so many different things out there, like gurus telling you to do this, do that. And while, yeah, we kind of want to have one offer that we pitch, quote unquote, but it's okay to share other things. Like literally, I mean, I don't love his language at all, but Gary V, I mean, he literally today, I sent it to Monique. So just disregard his language is kind of vulgar sometimes, but he is one of the wealthiest like gurus. And he literally on the podcast today was talking about, he's like, I mean, yes, have the one offer or whatever you want to be known for, show up and do that. But like, I share about the, whatever, the Jets, like his basketball team. I share about this. I share about that. I do this. And he doesn't even share about his family and like personal life, but he shares about so many other different things. Right. And so I just want to encourage you that don't paralyze yourself worrying about, every single thing I put out has to be blah, blah, blah. But you do have to consistently talk about it, right? Like you do have to consistently share that same offer over and over and over and over and speak to that same person. But it's okay to say, hey, I also like blank, or I also volunteer, once a month in the soup kitchen or something, like, oh, I do this one thing over here. Oh, I ride horses. Like, that's fine. Like you can do that. So don't let it paralyze you, but just get clear on the offer that you want to focus on.
Yes. And we see this a lot when we're coaching people is, we were having this conversation in our larger mastermind that we run, is it does not have to be perfect. I think sometimes people are waiting for this, like, oh, I have to have this perfect niche before I post anything. Here's the reality. Just try it and see. Like if you think something is like, oh, I really feel like I want to put this out there. I really feel like this is connected to, close to my heart or whatever, just put it out there. And if you get crickets over and over and you're like, okay, maybe this isn't really landing with people, then tweak it. But if you put something out there and people are like, oh my goodness, me too, or oh, I'm so glad, I'm so, whatever, and it resonates, even some of you with our own pivot, how we went from just generic coaching to getting really niche down to working with women of faith. And were there some people that didn't align with? Yeah. And will we welcome them into our community still? Yes. The majority of people, they were like, oh, yes, that resonates. And it's the majority of the people who are connected to you. And so even if somebody else is like, no, that's not necessarily me, that's totally fine. But the people who are connected to you, the people who are similar to you. So going back to Shelly's, like if Shelly is a corporate background, a mom that comes from a corporate background, she is going to attract other women who are in that corporate world. So does that mean she may not have other people come onto her team who don't fit that framework? Not necessarily. I mean, yes, she will have people come on, but if she's speaking to the corporate people, that is her niche. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, I mean, I'll just use this example and then I'm done talking. Our person is in her 30s. We're very clear about the person who we're speaking to. So all of our content that we put out is speaking to this woman in her 30s. I would say, I don't know the exact numbers, but I would say that's probably half of our clients. And the other half of you are like retired, empty nest, whatever, like all kinds of different places in your life. But we don't start speaking to the empty nesters just because we have other empty nesters in our community. We're still speaking to our same person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think too, it's because it's what we can relate to, so like you can relate to that woman who is like working full time, and you confidently know, like I've been able to step into this season where, whether you replace your income or not, whatever, but just in general, like financially, you could, afford to do something else. You don't have to work 80, 90 hours a week and still have that fulfillment of success. And so I think that's also why so many times when you're thinking about, how do what problem do I solve or whatever, how do I know? It's like, think about that previous version of you, and what you've been able to do as a result. So great conversation today. Thank you guys so much. Those of you who joined live and those of you that watched on Zoom and were hanging out with us. And also to those that will listen to the replay, we appreciate you. We are grateful for each and every one of you. And hopefully this was helpful and gave you some insight into, not only the content you create on your own, but as well as how can you tweak and change and adapt the content that we provide inside of the membership. So anything else, Monique? I think that's it.
I think that is all. Thank you guys for being on.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. If you loved what you heard today, could you stop and give us a 5-star rating and review? It helps our visibility on podcasting platforms so others like you can hear more of this message.
Also, if this episode encouraged you, we would love for you to pass it along to your own biz bestie and anyone else who could benefit. Lastly, don't forget that if you want to hang out with us just a little bit more, join us inside the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur community. Click the link in the show notes. Bye for now.